craziness. I'll never forget, never, the opportunity I had recently sitting in the United States Senate. We're having a hearing on women's rights, called by the Democrats. And I noticed the funny thing was, as I was sitting there in this hearing, the Democrats' star witness, extremely accomplished woman professor from, I think, the University of California at Berkeley. She's sitting there and she's talking about women's rights. And what I noticed was she would never say the word woman. Not once. I started counting, and I'm midway down the dais. Now, listen, I got to wait in the Senate. Senators love to talk. Have you noticed that? So I got to wait my turn. And I got like Ted Cruz in front of me. I'm like, come on, Ted. Wrap it up. Come on, Ted. So I'm waiting my turn, and I'm keeping a tally. What she said was, she kept using this phrase, persons with the capacity for pregnancy. No, I'm not making this up. Persons with a capacity for pregnancy. So I wrote that down on my pad, and I started keeping a tally, how many times she said that. And underneath it, I wrote the word woman, and I started keeping a tally. And it finally got to my turn, and I looked at my pad, and she'd said woman 0 times. And she said persons with the capacity for pregnancy like 15 times. So I asked her, I said, Professor, very smart person. I said, Professor, I see that you keep using this phrase. And I read it, people with a capacity for pregnancy. Now, I said, just help me understand. By that, do you mean woman? She said to me, she drew herself up to her full professorial height, You ever been in trouble at school? It took me back. I was like, well, I'm in trouble now. She drew herself up. She leaned into her microphone and she said, Senator Hawley, I'd just like to point out the transphobic nature of your questions. Watch the video. I said, really? Because I'm asking if women could get pregnant? That's now transphobic? And she said, let me ask you a question. I said, sure, go ahead. She said, do you believe that men can get pregnant? Now, for a second, I thought she was kidding. Then I realized she's totally serious. So I said, no, I don't. And she said, see, you're transphobic. And I wanted to say, see, you're insane. This is crazy. It's crazy. Come on. There are 2 genders, 2. Not 2,000, not 200. There are 2. And you know what? What I want my children to be taught, I've got 3 beautiful children at home. What I want them to know is the way that God made them is good. God made us male and female, and that's good. When he made us, he looked upon it and he called it good. There's nothing wrong with our kids. There's something wrong with them. It's a radical anti-faith agenda. And I just want to tell you this. We hear all the time that religion divides this country. The left says it constantly. Have you heard it? All the time. They're like, oh, religion, it's so divisive. Religion divides America. I'm here to tell you today, religion doesn't divide America. Religion unites America. We are a religious people. I'll tell you what divides America. What divides America is the left's attempt to destroy religion. That's what divides America. What is dividing America is their attempt to erase our heritage, to erase the foundation that this country has in, yes, the Bible. This is the greatest country in the history of the world because we are a country founded on the principles of the Bible. That is the truth. And most Americans know it. They know it to be true. They know it to be true. Who's dividing America is the radical left. And that's why I say to you, we don't need less Christian influence in our society. We don't need less Christian witness in our society. We need more in every part of government, in every part of society. You know what we ought to do? We ought to take the pride flag out of schools and put the Bible back in. You know what? You know what? We ought to take the trans flag down from all of our federal buildings, and over every federal building in America write the words, "In God we trust." In God we trust. Amen? It's our national motto. It's our national motto. Our national motto, in God we trust. You know, when President Eisenhower officially designated that as our national motto, do you know what he said? Back in the 1950s, 52, I think. He said, this motto will express the sense that we have, that we are a unique nation, called by God for a unique purpose. It's time that we reclaim that we were not ashamed of it anymore, that we were not quiet about it anymore. Let's proclaim